Hello and welcome. My name's Leanne. I live in Australia and this is my crafty cupboard.
We've got some of that dappled sun happening. Hello everyone, welcome back to my spring project. Oh dear, I've got my frame on the wrong side. So last time I started stitching this flower and I had mentioned how I thought it would be easier to do long short stitch in a hoop, but I was worried about the linen creasing, if I put the hoop over here, and then I thought, silly, you've got a very big piece of fabric here, get your big hoop. And so I've got the big hoop out and away I go. Now I will outline this in the darker thread when the stitching's all done. Do you outline first or do you outline last? I was torn about what to do. Goodness, that was a funny sounding bird. It sounded like it was having an engine malfunction. I wonder how the dappled sun videos for you. Is it annoying? Is it better when there's a solid light? It was just too irresistibly gorgeous. I had to come out. You know how it is when you get that warm sun and that fresh, cool breeze. Whoops. Goodness. I'm so very, very good at accidentally tying knots. And sometimes when you try really hard to tie a knot and it won't knot, it just comes undone. What is that? Let's let our thread dangle. That's part of the issue. I know, my thread's too long. I'm naughty. Very naughty. This is so relaxing. Just to sit and stitch peacefully in beautiful fresh air. And the birds singing to me all around. Somehow I've ended up sort of going wrong, stitching wrong. Let's start trying to stitch it right. That can just be a point of curious interest. Ah, my friend, the wattle bird, with his annoying cluck, cluck, cluck. I can hear the garbage truck coming. How does garbage collection work where you live? We have a 3-bin system. We have a red lidded bin for rubbish, and we have a green lidded bin for compostables, so garden waste, etc. I'm going wrong again. How can I get this to start going right? I'm going to cheat and put a stitch down the centre, right to where I want to go. And a yellow lidded bin for recyclables. You know, recyclable glass, plastic, paper, etc. And our green bin gets collected every week. But our others alternate, so they're only once a fortnight. That's better. I should start in the centre each time, I think. That will get me stitching correctly. I'm wondering if our cat had a near miss with the garbage truck. or if it's just inbuilt to be wary, like he is of Mr. Whippy, because the garbage trucks usually send him running inside as well. Alright, now what should I do here where I went wrong? Let's just take a stitch next to it and see if that hides it. Just turning it to get the angles so I can see the stitching better. Maybe just that will be okay. I'll go with that. Sort of thing in the stitching world, this is like the colouring in books, isn't it? You all the work's been done for you and you can just relax and follow the lines. Right, that better be the last one, hey? Now the exciting thing for having pre-threaded all my needles. Such a glorious spring day. I've come outside, and this is just a quick idea that if you've got a lot of stitching to do of the same colour and you've got multiple needles, like batch thread them all threaded or knotted, and then it doesn't break your sewing flow as you're sewing. So I'll just pick up the next one and keep going. I'm not sure how much of this is long and short stitch. I'm doing a bit of long and long stitch, really. Okay, so once again, I'm going to cheat and go to the center. Of this petal. And take it right down to where it goes. And just work either side of that. Just going to let my thread dangle again. If you ever watch the Great British Sewing Bee, I'm enjoying watching it again. I just absolutely take delight in watching other people create things, challenge themselves, learn things they couldn't do before, all while being terribly pleasant to one another, which is how the world should be. Most other things that would go on television I can't bear to watch. It saddens me greatly that the things that rate in this world are the things that are filled with people behaving badly to one another. What for? Why? Is this necessary? I don't understand. The episode I just watched, they did 70s week and I loved it. It was so gorgeous seeing all the projects they made. It is funny, isn't it, going through secondhand stores and things, and you know, things that are being sold as vintage and retro. You know, time was that I used to sort of go to these and wow, look at all these objects from the past. Now I go to these stores and I have a look and I'm like, oh, that's the coat hangers my baby clothes hung on, or you know, and that was the sewing box I had. It's a funny feeling sometimes when going through these stores and you're thinking, is that actually mine? That's exactly the same as what I had. Like, have they just gone through my belongings? Funny. Okay, how much thread? I've got lots of thread, so I'm just going to run it under. Keep going up here. Yeah, that strategy certainly works much better. Do the centre stitch first, and then lay your threads. My brother-in-law has come down to visit from Queensland. It's his first time down, brought his sons, and so my husband's been staying in the city in the hotel with them and playing tour guide, and I think they'll need to go home to sleep. They've been packing a lot in, and that's how I ended up in the city unexpectedly, because I went to the football with my daughter, and so we caught the train in together. And when we were there, she realised one of her friends was there, and they decided that they would like to go out night clubbing afterwards in the city. And so she wasn't going to be coming back home, and I didn't much feel like catching public transport by myself that late at night. So I headed to the city as well with her. She met up with her friend, and I gate crashed my husband's hotel room for the night. And then I left the boys to have their fun together. They were headed off to the zoo and Madame Tussauds, where they've got all the wax celebrities, and up to, I think it's called Sydney Eye these days, what I always knew as the Centre Point Tower, so you can get a good view of all around Sydney, all the way. Well, you used to be able to see all the way to the mountains on a clear day. I don't know how many clear days there would be anymore. It's pretty smoggy. That was one of the delights of lockdown, actually, for us, was to go on our bushwalks up in the mountain and look out and see clear sky, not smog, all over Sydney. So, yes, so they were doing that, and that meant that I had found myself in the city unexpectedly with free time. So I went off to the shops. Okay, better end that.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.